Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another review, another film review. This is actually going to be the fourth shot that I am reviewing this movie. What a headache, honestly. One of these days I'm going to get it right. One of these days I will actually upload back to back, like I said. I was going to. Hopefully, you've seen Amores Perros. Hopefully, you've taken a stab at the movie, either started it, gone through with it, um, and hopefully, you let me know what you thought. But anyway, as I was trying to film this movie about 2 weeks ago, I forgot to turn on the audio. So, 13 minutes of me just sounding like this. Talking the whole time, nothing ever being heard. Real shame. And then last time I had the tank, the filter to my turtle's tank was running. I don't know what it was, like a jet engine. It was so loud, and I've been so accustomed to the noise that I tuned it out because sometimes that'll happen with the filter, but it was just so grainy on the audio, and I was like, I'm not even gonna try to attempt to fix this at all. I'm gonna just record another one. Ooh, look at that shot right there. We're gonna talk about the Houston downtown uh, freeway, whatever this is. So as I mentioned in the last video, I think I was down in Houston for a very short trip. Literally left where I live Friday, was down there Saturday, Sunday was already coming back up. By Monday at like 1, I was back in town, back at my home. So, real quick trip, nevertheless fun, nevertheless thinking about this movie that we're going to be reviewing. 1984 Wim Wenders, Paris, Texas. This is a heck of a movie when it comes to the shots, the places that Wim, the director, chooses to shoot. For example, this bank in 1984 was a bank in downtown Houston that was very futuristic. As you might have noticed, it had like 10 lanes of drive-through, something ridiculous. It was crazy. And when I watched this, I was like, oh my gosh, like the architecture is so different. It's almost futuristic for the time that it was being shot at. Look at that. It's like 6 lanes. Anyway, so some of the shots in here are complete, like absolute beautiful. They're just magnificent. And I first heard about this film about a year ago. I saw a picture of Travis, our main character here. He's a father, by the way. This little kid that pops up on screen is his son. And so I saw the picture of Travis. I was intrigued of who the heck this guy is because he's certainly interesting looking fellow with a little mustache and it just looks like a simple dude. But found out where he was from. Found out it was from the movie Paris, Texas. And so since that point, it had been on my radar. I picked up the movie about a month ago at Barnes and Noble after my manager and I were talking about the movie. He had seen Paris, Texas a while ago, but had just come to the Criterion remastered version and had rewatched it. And him and I can go on for hours about movies. Literally, one time I came into his office like at 2. We clock out at 4:45, and until that like moment that we were walking out, we don't really clock out, but we just walk out. We were talking about movies. He loves movies, and actually in the interview when I was interviewing for my position that I'm at now, the last question I asked them was 3 people, including Grant, what their favorite movies were, and we talked for about 10 minutes about movies. So maybe that got me the job. Who knows? Maybe they were just like blown away that I was such a cool dude. Who knows? That could be it, right? But yeah, so we were talking about it. He said he loved it, and so I gave it a watch. Now, I'm going to be straight up. It's not my cup of tea. That doesn't take away from the movie, though. It's completely intriguing in the fact, in the idea of what it is, and the theme is an interesting one. Is fatherhood. So Travis goes missing for about 4 years, leaves behind his little kid. He's about 6, so he probably left when he was 2. Nobody knows where he went. Nobody has an idea of what happened to Travis. Little boy right here, the little kid just ends up at the door of his brother, and then they raise him as their own kid because they don't know what happened to the mom or what happened to Travis. And then he's found wandering someplace far away, and his brother goes, picks him up, rescues him, and basically tells him, "Hey, what happened? Like, what are you doing?" And Travis has no idea what world he's in or how he even got there. And so he finds it in himself to redeem his character by trying to integrate his family again. His kid, his mom, or his wife, but the kid's mom and him. And it's an interesting development. Characters are very likable, all of them. There is very little drama. There is, well, I guess, well, it's not really drama, but there are some things that I was just like, what? Um, Specifically, if you watch the movie, talking about the relationship between his brother's wife and him was almost too flirtatious. That just could have been me, but I was just like, oh, is this going to be one of those weird movies that develops into something like perversive? But it wasn't. Interesting dynamic that when Wim Wenders chooses, because this isn't the only movie that I've seen by him, and maybe there will be a review about this other film where he explores the topic of fatherhood. So he has something there. Most directors will incorporate themes or things that were very important that made them who they are into their films, and perhaps fatherhood is one of those things that Wim grew a part of. He had maybe a great father, or he had a father that, I don't know. I don't really know. I'm just hypothesizing here, but nevertheless, that's the movie, and so nobody can figure out why Travis left. And at the very end, we get to explore who Travis is and why he left as he redeems himself, finding the mother of his child. And you root for the character, you root for the unification of his family. But that's pretty much the movie. And the thing that I had trouble with is because the title is Paris, Texas. Now, Paris, Texas is this place in Texas. It's a small town, but they don't draw a lot of connection to the title. Now, there are movies that don't necessarily tie to the title, but then most of them have a connection to the title. And Paris, Texas has a very vague connection, and maybe that's the beauty that Wim Wenders likes, completely naming something that has nothing to do and making us think that it does or that it should, when in reality he doesn't. Maybe he just wanted to name it Paris, Texas. Who knows? So that's what makes this movie okay for me. I get why it's in the Criterion. The beautiful shots, like I said, once again, the vibrant colors. Although characters are likable, but it just wasn't my thing. And for my manager, he said, he liked the movie because he's a father, and he feels this notion of making sure that his family is well and his family stays united because he's a good dad. And so maybe that's why, I have two dogs, but two dogs aren't the same as children. And it's not the same thing, providing for a dog, providing for a child. So that's what he took away from it, and I took something completely different. Um, but nevertheless, a good film, and that's the beauty of movies. There are movies that are going to be tailored to your taste, or you find those movies that specifically, um, look how you like, and how their characters developed the way you like. But then there are movies that are different, and that's all right. You don't have to like every single one, but and this is hard for me because I have a hard head. If I don't like something, I'm not going to watch it. But maybe there's a beauty, maybe there's something refreshing in watching something that you don't like, because you still pick up on the dialogue, on the character development, on the coloring, why they choose certain shots, how they come to choose those shots if you watch the extra credit. So maybe there's something beautiful in that. I don't know. Sometimes I don't want to watch some things that don't interest me. I don't really care. I want to watch what I like, because at the end of the day, I'm spending my time, which is valuable for me, looking at somebody's art and trying to make art of my own. So that's my hot take, and maybe a lot of people like Paris, Texas. Maybe you like Paris, Texas, and that's completely fine. That's cool. We can all have different opinions when it comes to a movie like this. So, like I will tell you every single time, please watch the movie completely in English. It'll be refreshing. So hopefully I released the other two reviews that I made a week ago, when I actually noticed that my audio was not turned on, and yeah, we'll see what else we got. So I appreciate you for tuning in. Oh, I forgot to mention about the score. The music in this is great. It makes the movie stand out a lot, because it really evokes a Texas emotion. And since I've been down there a few times when I was younger, I used to be down there about once a month for a few days, for about a week. That the sound is how you picture Texas sounding, and whoever the director is does a great job in portraying those emotions to the viewer. So that was the last thing that came to mind. Watch the movie. Let me know what you think. But it's hard for me to talk about something that I personally didn't enjoy, and some of these reviews might be like that. Go ahead and watch them anyway, because then you can say, this is. Then you can come to me and say, you're wrong. This movie is great because yada yada yada, and I'll tell you, no, this movie is not great because yada yada yada, and that's where we have different opinions, and that rocks when you can stand your ground and you can say, I like it this way because of X, Y, and Z, and that's completely fine. In the world of film, in the world of critics, not everyone has the same taste. So, on that note, I'll end. I hope you have a good day. I hope whatever it is you're doing goes well for you, and I'll see you in the next shot. Peace.